This is Radio Prague International coming to you from the Czech capital.
Hello and welcome to the weekend edition of Czechia in 30 minutes. I'm Vít Pohanka and in today's program we travel to Belgium. In this episode we meet Linda Tejchmanová, a Czech living in Leuven and a co-founder of the Czech-Belgian Chamber of Commerce.
My name is Linda and we are currently in the center of Leuven. It's a small city 20 minutes away from Brussels in Belgium. And I'm a legal consultant who have a law degree from Belgium University from Leuven. And why are we here? It's a nice day, so we catch the opportunity to walk around in the center of Leuven.
When I asked you why we are here, I basically meant, or what I had in mind was, why are you here? How did you get here? What's the story? How did a young woman from Czechia, I wouldn't like to say end up here, but how did you get here?
When I was 18, I was competing in triathlon, and I had an opportunity to join a Belgian triathlon team to compete here in Belgium for their triathlon league. So I came to Belgium and I started last year of high school here, and after obtaining a secondary diploma in Belgium, I was obtained to law faculty here in Leuven. So yeah, that's basically why I ended up in Leuven.
An interesting coincidence, because quite recently, a few months ago, I actually interviewed Adam Holomoucký, a young Czech, who just finished his graduate studies in the US, and he's a triathlonist as well. And he actually went there on a sports scholarship. But it wasn't like that here, right? I mean,
No. It was through a context to Belgian triathlon team, so it was not a scholarship. And it was also in the period when the triathlon was not that popular, so I think that, it was just great opportunity in time where in Czech Republic was not that popular to compete for a triathlon team.
In a few minutes we will get to your work and what you do here now, but if you were to kind of go back when you came here as an 18-year-old, what was it like for you? Was it a huge change when you compared the culture, the society, the people?
Yeah, it was a huge change, but the biggest one I see in a school system. Because at a secondary school in Czech Republic, there was not such a pressure on myself. It was quite easy. But here in Belgium, it was quite tough. Yeah, it was also the language barrier, but also the system. It's quite difficult, I would say.
But by the way, in what language did you study? Did you have to learn Dutch? Or?
Yes. I studied in Dutch, the secondary school, and then also the law faculty here in Leuven was primary in Dutch.
Yeah, just to explain to the listeners, Leuven is only 20 kilometers or 20 minutes from Brussels, but it's a Flemish-speaking part of Belgium.
Yes, it's Flemish-speaking part of Belgium, but if you study law faculty in Belgium, you should speak all three languages.
Yeah, all three of them?
Yeah, three of them. I said should, so practically mostly it's in one language here in Leuven in Dutch, but still you have to speak at least in French, and you have also some obligatory hours in German, but it's not like that everyone would be able to speak German.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because not many people realize that Belgium is not only about two languages, French and Dutch, but also German as well. There's a German minority.
Yeah, and also if you are going to speak to the town hall, they should be able to speak in all three languages according to law.
And do they?
No. But yeah.
So I suppose Dutch rules, yeah?
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go on a little bit. So you decided to go for the university here. How often did you go back to Czechia? And why did you decide? It may seem pretty obvious to you because, I mean, there's Catholic university here, which is really kind of Europe, one of the most prestigious European universities. But why not go back to Prague?
I mean, actually, I studied also law.
Sorry, there's an engine. Let's go the other way around.
I studied also the law faculty at Charles University in Prague, parallelly with the university in Leuven. So I went back to Czech quite often, always for exam period in January and in June. So yeah, I was still frequently in contact with the Czech atmosphere.
And why did you need that?
Because if you have law degree from Belgium, you cannot transfer it and then be a lawyer in a Czech Republic. So I was already accepted to the law faculty at the Charles University when I started here. So I said, let's try to study parallelly and I will see which university would be better. And then I realized it's possible to study both universities parallelly. So yeah, I ended up with a Belgian law degree and with Czech degree as well.
You must have been quite busy, though.
yeah, but I mean, it was quite tough, but nice period because I had a vision.
And you decided to stay here, yeah?
Yes.
And live.
I mean, over time, it was quite clear that Leuven is best city to live. I would not say best city, but Leuven is always quite high in the ranking for
livable cities, I suppose.
Livable cities. So, yeah, it's the infrastructure here is very well oriented to the cycling, I would say, and it's possible to get grocery shopping, to get to the train station with the bike, and
it's even walkable, I would say.
Yeah,
you can. It's easy to walk. Now, this may sound slightly funny, but when I was walking around this morning, it reminded me a little bit of Olomouc, believe it or not, because it's a similar size, a lot of young people, students, but of course, I mean, that not so many people know of Olomouc, to put it mildly, as they do about Leuven.
Yeah, but we use this example when we explain it to our Czech friends, why Leuven is so special and so great, and say, yeah, it's like Olomouc, yeah.
With the, I would say, added value that it's so close to Brussels, because Olomouc is like at least 3 hours by car, I think, if you go to Prague, and Leuven is really close to Brussels and to big airport and everything.
Yeah, so close to Brussels is one side, and second, it's quite international. So you have here a lot of international opportunities inside the city. So if you would like to work in a cafeteria, it's no problem only with English. So I think this is the advantage of Leuven. It's small, young, international.
And if I may reveal, you are married. And I actually, when I saw your surname, I thought that you might be married to someone from Belgium, but your husband is Czech, right?
Yeah, it's Czech description of German name Tejchman, but yeah, I imported my husband to Leuven and he realized that it's a great city, so we stayed here. But to be honest, over the years we had several opportunities to relocate to another place, another country, because he's working in a big international corporate. But then we compared the possibilities and the Leuven was always the best.
Always the best, yeah. So he works for the big multinational, I think you can say, and that's Anheuser-Busch, is that correct?
Yeah.
I think we can say that.
Yeah, for most of the people it would be known as a brewery of Stella Artois and Coronas.
So, what about you and your job?
I'm a legal consultant, so I have a small consultancy company for Czech companies and associations regarding European law. We help companies to understand the Brussels bubble and to translate legislative text to the easier outcomes. Yeah, it's one part of my job. second part, I'm still using my Belgian law degree, and I'm helping Czech citizens and companies with the Belgian law, mostly through the quite recently created Czech-Belgian Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, that's what I found out on the internet. Yeah, and that's what I was wondering. I mean, these days, in the 21st century, let me ask you perhaps slightly provocatively, do we still need chambers of commerce?
Yeah, I was also asking myself this question in last years, but my answer is yes, we need it, especially in Belgium, because Belgian system is very complex and Belgium itself is quite fragmented. And if an entrepreneur decides to export or go to Belgium, it's quite difficult for them to understand how it works here. And I think we as a Chamber of Commerce can help them to have easier start here.
I can only attest that I had to submit my taxes here in Excel, actually, in Brussels. And if I didn't have a Belgian expert for that, a Belgian accountant, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, I can imagine that. It's not the tax system, but the administrative system at all. It's very complex and difficult here, especially the combination of languages. And I think that a subject as a Chamber of Commerce, it can help not only for entrepreneurs and companies, but also for citizens who come to Belgium for work reasons for 1 year, because we as a chamber, we know the system, and our vision is to create a community who connects the Czech and Belgium, not only business, but subjects at all.
What sort of businesses would be your, I would say, average partners, if we can say, if there is such a thing as an average partner? I mean, what about the size? I'm asking about the size, because I would assume, as a layperson, that big companies probably don't need that so much, because they've got their own people who can, find their way around.
On one side, they don't need it, but on the other side, one of our members is Port of Antwerp and Bruges. They are big, and you can say that they don't need it, but still, it can be helpful to be part of the community, to get new partnerships with the small companies, to be known more, because they are in big concurrence with Port of Rotterdam and Port of Le Havre, so they need also new companies.
So they, do I understand correctly that they want to partner with you in order to draw business from Czechia?
Yes, yes.
The Port of Antwerp, which
Yes,
is one of the
yes.
biggest in Europe. Obviously not as big as Rotterdam, right?
Yeah.
And let me now change the subject a little bit, because we are obviously passing a school here. A lot of young kids. I don't want to be too nosy, but have you got kids, or are you planning kids?
Yeah. We have 3 kids.
3 kids?
Yeah,
already?
and it was the decision moment for me when I said to myself, we want to stay in Belgium, because I cannot imagine combining my motherhood with my career. And I know that it's quite hot topic at the moment in Czech Republic, and there are a lot of organizations talking about this problematic in public. But 7-8 years ago, when it was important for me, I could not imagine that I can combine the position of mother and the position of legal consultant in the Czech Republic. So we stayed here in Belgium.
You mean it would be more difficult in Czechia?
Yes.
Why?
Because the system there is not prepared for working mothers. There are not enough capacities for young
Like in
children.
kindergartens or nurseries and stuff like that?
Yes, and also, if I would have 3 children in the Czech Republic, I would be almost 9 years at home for maternity leave. So yeah, I cannot imagine that after 9 years at home, I would say, yeah. And by the way, 10 years ago, I studied law, and I have a law degree, so I can work. So yeah, will be quite nonsense.
You know, this is an interesting thing. When, for example, when I told my American friends when we were in the States that the usual maternity leave can be around 3 years in Czechia, they just couldn't kind of... it's not just that they couldn't believe it; they just didn't understand why. You know?
Yeah, I don't understand why as well. But yeah, it's a controversial topic. But yeah, for me, it would not work.
It wouldn't work for you, but some people say that the Czech system suits them. But I suppose it really depends on what you want to do. It's difficult to kind of combine the professional life with motherhood in Czechia, right?
Yes.
That's not a simplification.
Yes. I think it's difficult in
everywhere.
But I think in Czech Republic it's even more difficult, and also the pressure from the society. It's different than in other countries, I would say.
And now we are getting to something that I'm always interested in when recording interviews for Czechast. What do you miss about Czechia, and what do you not miss as much as, you just mentioned one thing, that made you stay here. When did you start feeling at home here? Let me ask you like this.
I have Czech husband, and we are quite frequently in contact with the Czech family and Czech people, so I don't miss it too much, but what I miss is the sarcastic humor. It's something I cannot imagine that I would use with my Belgian friends. So yeah, sarcastic humor is something which is missing here in Belgium.
But you feel more comfortable here, obviously. Apart from work, apart from the professional career.
For this life period, yes. But I cannot say it would be forever.
So how often do you go back to Czechia?
Belgian schools here in Flanders. Yeah, it's also interesting that each region in Belgium has different holidays, school holidays. So here in Flanders there are a lot of holidays, so we are quite frequently in Czech Republic. So second month, I would say.
So when there are some holidays here, you go to Czechia with your kids?
Yeah, mostly.
And I didn't ask you, are you from Prague?
I'm from Prague, but I studied a sports school in Jilemnice, and my mother is from High Tatras in Slovakia, so I don't feel like being from Prague.
So you are a typical, or your parents were, but you come from a typical Czechoslovak family.
Yes.
You have many of those.
Yeah, and my husband is from Jeseník, so to be honest, we spend a lot of time in Jeseník and also High Tatras.
In Jeseník city, Jeseníky mountains.
Jeseník city and Lipová Lázně village.
Are there a lot of Czechs living here? I suppose there are a lot of them. I'm asking about Leuven because obviously there's a very international community, including Czech community in Brussels. I just wonder what it's like here.
Yes, there are a lot of Czechs here in Leuven, and also recently, I think 2 years ago, Vláček, it's Czech association, was created here to gather the Czech people, and this weekend was also Svatomartinská husa, organized by Vláček, and a lot of activities, especially made for children, are here organized by this association. So yeah, there are a lot of Czechs here. A lot of them are connected with the university or IMEC, the technical company here. But yeah, a lot of them are also working for European institutions but living here in Leuven.
So, when we say the community is quite large, are we talking about hundreds of people?
Oh, hundreds not.
Or dozens of families? That's too many?
Yeah, that's too many. I would say 100.
100, yeah. Well, that's quite significant. You mentioned that you might be, that you don't know exactly whether it's here forever, yeah, if I understand correctly. Yeah. So are we talking about retirement in Czechia or something like that?
I mean, there are hard questions, and I have to be careful because if my parents would hear that, it will put us under more pressure, like, are you going back already? So
they would like to have you home, right?
I think
And
they
the
ask,
grandkids.
They ask quite often when we had one child, but I think now everyone sees in a family that here the combination of family and career is possible, and it would not be possible in Czech Republic. So I think that now everyone is already not putting us under the pressure of going back.
That nobody's putting you under pressure, about that. Let me ask you about your kids. I mean, I would assume that you speak Czech at home.
Yes.
But they go to school where they have to speak Dutch, I suppose.
Yes, but the fact is that they had, till last year, they had only Czech citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
And if they had only this citizenship, we have to subscribe them also to their school in the Czech Republic. So they are in a Czech school, or the oldest one, and she's going there for exams once a year to do exams from Czech language.
Yeah, we did that as well with our kids. I have to say it was quite painful sometimes for the kids, because not only did they have to go to school or especially Vojta, the older son, in the US, and then he had to learn some Czech, and he just didn't always understand why. And you do that only with your oldest daughter?
Yeah, only with the oldest, because she's only one who has this obligatory school. How to say it?
In Czech it's called like an equalizing exam, which sounds that's a literal translation.
Yeah. So she's only one, but next year the second one will be there as well. So as you said, it's quite difficult. But on the other hand, I think it's necessary if you would like to stay in contact with the language.
Just one more language question, because obviously you can exist here and live here very comfortably speaking English only. At least that was my experience. Do your kids already speak English?
Not really. It's also quite interesting point for me, because almost all Belgians, they speak quite good English, but the obligatory English at school starts in 3rd or 4th year. So it's not like it would be
right from the start,
right from the start. But I think maybe it's the contact in television or series.
Yeah, well, my theory is that they haven't got dubbing.
Yeah.
Which is what we have in Czechia, that all the films and TV series are dubbed into Czech. And personally, I have to say, I don't like it very much. But Czechs are very used to that. But it doesn't exist here. I mean, they don't.
It doesn't.
They have subtitles. That's what I remember. At least.
And I think also, especially the Dutch language, it's more closer to English than Czech.
Czech, of course. I already asked you a little bit about this, but I just want to make sure that I understand fully. So, are you a Czech family that just happens to live here, or are you kind of mixed family? Because with so many years here.
No, we are fully Czech family, but I have to admit that this spring we made our Belgian nationality. So, officially we are also Belgians.
So you have your Belgian ID and passport?
Yes. No, passport not yet, but...
Not yet, but you can apply for it, yeah?
I can apply for it.
Just for the listeners, my experience, and I'm talking about time nearly 20 years back when Czechia still wasn't in the so-called Schengen system. And I came to Brussels and we had to apply for local ID as foreigners. And because we wanted our son to be able to go to a Belgian school, a public school, not to a private school. And it took them about 2 years to produce this identity card, the local bureaucracy. And we got it, and we immediately left for the United States because I got a job there. What I'm trying to say is, our experience with the bureaucracy wasn't very pleasant. Let me put it like that. Is that a general kind of feeling?
Yes, it is general kind of feeling, and I think that this can be also an element for the Czech-Belgian Chamber of Commerce to help people
deal with that.
Yeah, deal with it. Now it's quite fast. It's not 2 years for ID, but still there are a lot of administrative burdens here, which are totally not understandable for people coming outside Belgium.
That's kind of interesting because I've got some friends who complain about the bureaucracy in Czechia, and that's what I would say. I mean, you should experience the Belgian thing.
Yeah. It would be quite nice exchange to see the Belgian state and then go back and be happy that it's quite good system in Czech Republic.
Again, this is a Czechast podcast in English.
Yeah, I'm asking this also quite often, and we don't have any answer. We don't have any answer. So yeah,
but it still goes on.
Yeah.
This is interesting. But then, I mean, for you as a lawyer and a consultant, this is good news, isn't it?
It's very good news. Yeah, that's why we set up a Czech-Belgian Chamber of Commerce, because I think there still will be a lot of work here in 20 years. So yeah. Anyone with the problems with the Belgian administrative system, you are welcome in this community.
You've been listening to the weekend edition of Czechia in 30 Minutes with me, Vít Pohanka. If you'd like to hear more interviews and reports from across Europe and Czechia, visit the Radio Prague International website or find Czechia in 30 Minutes on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, goodbye.
This is Radio Prague International coming to you from the Czech capital.